Attackers can hijack your entire GitHub repositories. Shocking, right? A researcher found an attack vector which allows hacker to compromise your GitHub repositories. But how? How did this flaw go unnoticed, and what exactly made it so dangerous? Basically, the vulnerability lied inside the GitHub artifact system, which are meant to store build outputs. Let's take a closer look at what are GitHub artifacts. In simple terms, artifacts are the files and data that result from a software build process. Think of them as the finished products after your code is compiled and packaged, like executables, compiled libraries, or even logs. These artifacts are essential because they represent the final output that developers use, test, and eventually deploy. They're stored securely in the repository, ensuring that everyone on the team can access the same build outputs. And this is where things get dangerous. If attackers manage to interfere with these artifacts, they can inject their own malicious code, or even disrupt the entire development pipeline. This kind of interference could have serious consequences. So, how did the attacker pull this off? Consider Neo as our attacker and Sam as our victim. Now, as artifacts are like finished tools or software components that Sam relies on for his projects, Neo, being a skilled hacker, creates a fake repository and named it exactly like Sam's real one. This was a clever move because GitHub links repositories by their names, not by the owner. As Neo owns the repo, he creates a malicious artifact. But now, with the fake repository in place, Neo needed to make sure that his malicious artifact would be used instead of the real one. This is where GitHub's token system plays a major role. GitHub uses tokens to authenticate and authorize actions on repositories. These tokens are supposed to be secure, allowing only legitimate users to perform tasks like uploading or downloading artifacts. However, the tokens were tied to the repository name, not the repository owner, and were getting leaked into the artifacts. This means when Sam requests a token, GitHub issued it without realizing it was for a fake repository. Now, when Sam's project needed an artifact, it unknowingly requested Neo's version because the token made it look like a real one. The name matched, and GitHub didn't question. As a result, Sam's system pulled in Neo's malicious artifact instead of the real one. This gave Neo the perfect opportunity to inject harmful code into Sam's projects, steal data, or even take complete control over it. Let's see how you can protect yourself from falling victim to this kind of attack, and what steps GitHub has taken to close this dangerous loophole. First off, always be cautious about where your artifacts are coming from. Even if the name looks right, make sure the source is legitimate and double-check the repository owner. It's easy to assume everything's fine when the names match, but as we've seen, attackers can exploit this trust. You should also regularly audit your project dependencies and artifacts. Another key step is to enable multi-factor authentication, MFA, on your GitHub account and repositories. Now, as for GitHub, they've recognized this issue and have made changes to how tokens are issued and verified. They've tightened the security around token generation, making it harder for attackers to exploit this kind of vulnerability in the future. GitHub is also improving its artifact management system to better detect and prevent these kinds of attacks, ensuring that repositories are protected from similar threats going forward. By implementing these steps in your own projects, you can reduce the risk of falling victim to similar attacks. So, stay sharp, protect your work, and keep learning about the latest cybersecurity threats to stay one step ahead of attackers like Neo. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for more cybersecurity content. I'll be covering more vulnerabilities and security best practices. Don't forget to share this video with your developer friends and security enthusiasts. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.